Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So I'm live streaming today at an unusual time, but it's okay. I fear that there are a lot of fearful people out there, so I got to do my part to keep you guys informed and encouraged, especially with this Bitcoin indicator that flips bullish. I got to talk about it and everything else that's going on in the world today. So let's do it. Welcome, guys. I don't have any fancy camera switches or anything today, and I have to check the live stream from my phone. I mean the comments. It's a little bit different setup today, but regardless, I am here. Let's talk about Bitcoin. What is going on? And I do sense a lot of fear. Even in my last night's video, I was scrolling through the comments. They were brutal. People were turning really, really bearish. And I get that. Sometimes, it's hard to control short-term emotions, right? Like I get it. It's tough sometimes, but you got to see the big picture. You got to realize that what we're going through right now is normal. It happens every single cycle. Okay, so that's the main thing. But let me show you guys a few things. First of all, for those of us in the U.S., we do have a lot of economic data that's still pending to come out. Right, so today's Wednesday, but starting tomorrow, we will have some absolutely huge economic data, and this is a good thing. So we have Q1 GDP. That is going to be absolutely huge. Okay. Jobless claims is always big. Durable goods order, pending home sales, and more importantly, PC inflation. These are all going to make a huge difference this week because, of course, we see Powell right there. These kind of data will determine whether or not Powell gets to cut the Fed fund rate earlier or later. If the GDP comes out really bad, the goods order, home sales, they're all coming out really bad, and the PC inflation is also going down, then it's a perfect storm for him to cut early, which means it could come as soon as next month. Okay, that's if everything is, everything comes in, I guess, either below expectations in terms of how the economy is doing, and inflation somehow continues to go down, right? Which could happen because we know a lot of the numbers are fudged anyway. So we do have a lot of things to look forward to starting tomorrow, right? But besides that, what else is going on? Why is Bitcoin not going up? There's still a lot of fear right now, okay? A ton of fear. We have been obviously talking about Germany, and even with the announcement, or I guess even after they were caught dumping a lot of Bitcoin on spot market, it doesn't seem like that has deterred them in any way, because now more and more people are looking at it, and it still looks like they are still doing the same thing. German government continues to move tens of millions of dollars of Bitcoin into various exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken. They are just not, for whatever reason, they are just not considering OTC market, or maybe the person in charge just has no idea. Like, again, why would you not just pick up the phone and call Coinbase or call Kraken and say, hey, we got $3 billion of Bitcoin we want to sell. Let's make a deal. That's what normally happens. But for whatever reason, German government that's holding the Bitcoin do not want to do that. They continue to send it to the exchanges. I mean, at this point, Coinbase and Kraken should have banned them. No, I mean, they shouldn't. That would set bad precedents. But still, I mean, at this point, I don't know why that they're still continuing to do this. Maybe they should sell it to the miners. The miners, their reserves are 14-year low, 13, 14-year low. They are getting really low. So I don't know. This is still ongoing. Obviously, this is adding some down pressure and causing a lot of fear because they do still have a ton of Bitcoin left, 46,000, right? So obviously, I think this is having a big effect. Why are they doing this now? We still don't know, right? We could just speculate. They need the money. They're purposely suppressing the price. Oh, I don't know. No one knows. Maybe someone should find out, right? And outside of Germany, we still have the Mt. Gox FUD, right? That is still pending, and we won't know the repercussions until next week when they actually start distributing the 140,000 Bitcoin that they owe. So again, I think this is causing a lot of FUD right now. A lot of people really fearful that once Bitcoin gets distributed, and Bitcoin Cash for that matter, Bitcoin, I think it's mostly Bitcoin Cash, but because no one wants to hold Bitcoin Cash. But as for Bitcoin, a lot of people, I think they're just really, really fearful that, hey, everyone that gets their Bitcoin back will start selling. I just don't see it. I don't see how people have been holding for 10 years with an average cost of $700 per Bitcoin is going to be anxious to sell all of it now. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? So we do have these two FUD points that are still ongoing. But regardless of all the FUD, what I just start out saying, right? This is perfectly normal. Every single cycle, we see the same thing happen. We see a lot of FUD. Remember 2022? All the black swans, all the exchanges that went belly up, all the lending companies that went belly up. We had a lot of FUD in 2022. We had a lot of FUD in 2023. A lot of SEC lawsuits left and right. Right? Every single cycle, you could even say every single year, we have FUD. We had Mt. Gox FUD before too. Since 2017 till now, we had periodic mentions about redistribution, selling, and we had many periods where we thought Mt. Gox was going to destroy the market. So, I mean, we get FUD all the time, major FUD. Okay, but Bitcoin continues forward. Now, this is very positive. This is showing the ETFs. We had 7 consecutive outflow days. And finally, yesterday, we actually had an inflow, a positive 31 million inflow. Now, again, I like to show you guys something that's going on. Fidelity, Grayscale, and a few others have been selling. Look at the very left side. That is showing the column of IBIT, BlackRock's ETF. While everyone's been selling, 7 consecutive days of selling, do you see how on the very left side there is zero selling? On, for example, June 13th, Fidelity sold $106 million worth of Bitcoin. BlackRock bought 18.2 million. Okay. June 14th, Fidelity sold 80 million. BlackRock bought 1.5. So during the dump, BlackRock did not sell any Bitcoin. They were just either not buying or they continued to buy. So that tells you something. Okay. Larry Fink and BlackRock, they know what's going on. There may be a lot of manipulation right now. Maybe they're the ones telling the German government to dump on the spot market, right? I have no idea. But there's something there. You look at how all the other ETFs basically sold, panicked, sold. And of course, it's not just them. It's really the investors that have bought the shares, right? Forcing them to sell. But isn't it weird or particular that BlackRock had no outflow from their ETF? What everyone else did, it shows you something's going on, right? But it does show you that Larry Fink and BlackRock, they understand Bitcoin. They understand. I mean, a lot of these guys don't understand from Wall Street, but they do. And what they understand is Bitcoin is what you hold long term. You do not sell Bitcoin. You hold it basically. You hold it for long term, right? Because you want that life-changing wealth. And BlackRock's mind, it's not life-changing wealth, it's world domination. That is exactly what's happening. There's, it's just really, it's so obvious. You look at Fidelity, who holds the second most Bitcoin um, in their fund, and they have massive hundreds of millions of outflow. Yet BlackRock had none in the last week. It's pretty obvious. Pretty obvious something is going on, right? Now, as for this reversal, there are a lot of reversal signs right now, okay? And it may come after this Friday. We have $10 billion worth of options that are set to expire this Friday between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And most of that are going to be good, right? And if we go a little bit higher, we actually start trending upwards, I mean, it's going to be even better. So we'll see. In the past, we have seen periods where options expirations actually does suppress the price. We haven't seen that for a while, but considering where we are right now, where Bitcoin is like holding around 62,000, this could have a big impact, right? So we'll see. Friday could be a big day, but there's a lot more signs that show that something big is coming. Well, look at this first. Warren Buffett's, he invested in NuBank, and this is out of Brazil. And this bank is pro crypto. They are adding Lightning Network to their crypto services. Okay. So a lot of people think that Warren Buffett is still very anti Bitcoin, anti crypto, yet he owns a bank that is crypto friendly. And don't tell me that he has no clue about it. There's no way he doesn't know about it. Okay. Even though he may be very old and he doesn't understand blockchain technology, but even he owns a crypto friendly bank and he knows how well it's going to do, right? Um, Now, besides that, you got Mr. 100, which we haven't heard from for a long time. Mr. 100 also been loading up, kind of like Larry Fink, right? You just really don't sell. You just keep on buying and adding and DCA and taking advantage of the low prices. That's what you're supposed to do. He added 200 just yesterday and even more the days before and continues to DCA 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. And yes, he has over $4 billion worth of Bitcoin, but still, you get the point. He is definitely a whale, a huge whale, an institution, whatever, but it's showing you, kind of like Sailor, what you do is you DCA over a long haul and you forget about the price volatility, you forget about the FUD, and just focus on the future. Focus on why Bitcoin is going to reverse, go back up, form a new high, and continue forward, right? And it will happen. These steps will happen every single cycle. It does. That's why Bitcoin forms a higher high and higher low every single 4-year cycle. That's just how it works. Now, as for the reversal, as for us coming back, right? Obviously, we have dipped down a little bit, but I'm still arguing that we're still going sideways. If you look at it since March till now, we're still going sideways. We haven't broke through the previous low of 56,000. But still, if you're looking at some of these charts and looking at whether Bitcoin is oversold, yes, it is. This is looking at just a simple indicator, RSI. And you can see in 2022, we had a situation where, yeah, Bitcoin was oversold. And it went up 60% after that. After going sideways a little bit. It wasn't immediate, but it went up 60%. And then we had a situation in 2023, same thing. Bitcoin's oversold. We went sideways a little bit. No, actually, we didn't go sideways a little bit. We just bounced up 63%. Okay. And September of 2023. I think most of you guys know this. This is when the Bitcoin market really started going. Bitcoin market was still in the 30s then. Okay. We were very, 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 very oversold. We went sideways for a very, 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 very long time. And then boom, Bitcoin went up 200%. Now imagine if you fell for the FUD and you sold back in November 2022, or you sold in March of 2023, or you sold September 2023, right? You would have missed out on how much gains? right? We have FUD all the time. Like I said, we have volatility all the time. But imagine if you fell for it, you sold out around the 30s or around the 20s or around 15,000 Bitcoin. You would be kicking yourself. You would be regretting it. And you would be feeling the FOMO and you want to buy back in the 60s. Right? It's going to be the same thing once we break above. Once we break above into the 80s, 90s, 100, you will have the same kind of regret if you sell. You would say, well, why did I sell at the 60s when it's 100K now? It's going to be the same thing. So there's so many chances right now to DCA when things are low. And a lot of these charts, a lot of these indicators are showing a reversal is going to happen. Here's another one that's showing oversold territory right now. Where Bitcoin is, very, very oversold. And the last few times this has happened, just like the previous chart, again, it shows you what happens when Bitcoin starts recovering back up, right? We're in one of those moments, guys. And again, it may seem scary when we are going through these periods, right? It always seems scary. I know that. You pull up your portfolio, you look at its charts, and it's horrible. I know that, right? But just focus on the future. Just know that things will get better. They will reverse, and they always do. There are a lot of people that just simply don't understand that because they haven't lived through any of the cycles before, and they turn negative. And when you read those comments, it makes you negative as well. So it's best to just ignore the FUD, ignore the bears, the ones that are trying to scare you and bring you down to their level, their misery, right? You got to ignore that and focus on the positives. And we have so many positives still in the space. Now, here's another one. The last chart I'll show you guys that show you that Bitcoin is doing exactly what it has done before. There's choppiness, right? And then what happens afterwards? We go higher. And it's always like that. It's always like that. So there are a lot more to come. All right. Now, outside of Bitcoin, there is one other thing that may be a huge catalyst to the market, and that is Ethereum ETFs. Okay, Bitwise is anticipating there will be at least $15 billion worth of net inflows in the first 18 months, and it could be even more than that. And this could be launching as soon as next month. Okay, so think about that, right? Look at what happened after Bitcoin ETFs launched. We had a sudden down, and then all of a sudden, once the inflows started coming, Bitcoin just kept going up and up and up. It could be the same for Ethereum as well, right? If it launches next month. Even Gary is talking about Ethereum ETFs, which is kind of weird. He's been saying how it's on track and it's going to be fine, right? But who knows? 15 billion is no chump change. And it could be even more than that. First 18 months, this is going to go carry into 2025. So I actually think that may be an underestimate because if the market continues to go up, especially later this year and in 2025, and ETH may be topping out at 10,000, 15,000 by the end of 2025, this 15 billion will turn into 50 billion or 100 billion or maybe even 150 billion, right? I don't think it's going to stop. Yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Let's do some Q&A. And I have to do Q&A from my phone here, okay, because I can't read from my but got a good amount of people here, 2.4K people at a very unusual time. I am in LA, so I'm 2 hours behind. So for me, it's only 10 a.m. For you guys, most of you guys are like noontime or something. All right, looking through a live chat, there was a super chat. Bento's asking about HNT. Can it reach all-time high? Mobile versus HNT. See, Helium has two tokens now, right? What I'm more fascinated with is their mobile token because that relates to the mobile service. HNT, on the other hand, is rewarded for miners. So it's a little bit different because the miners are more powering the 5G network and mobile token is more for the mobile network. So can I get back? There's always a chance, but I will say I like the mobile token more because I believe in the mobile network and people are using it and they're saying really good things about it. Stay caution. Jason says Robinhood is reportedly having major issues right now. What major issues? What is the U.S. market doing today? U.S. I don't know why it's Europe here. U.S. market kind of flat. I think tomorrow everyone's waiting for what's coming tomorrow in the U.S. A lot, not just tomorrow on Friday. So the U.S. market is kind of flat. But right now, people are still wondering about Germany and Mount Gox. Really, what is Germany doing? Why do they continue to dump on the spot market and not OTC? And of course, Mount Gox. Martin says, buy now or regret later. It's always the case. Do you think AGIX will run this year? Will it run hard in 2025? Well, AGIX won't exist in 2025 because it's being converted to FET, and FET will be converted to ASI. That's part of the new merger. Uh, network for network prediction predicted price 2025. Bento, I don't know what you're asking. You mean helium? I don't know. I really don't. I think it could get back to its previous high if that's what you're asking. Crypto surge, I did not. Yesterday, I know the whales were all filming the entire day. They had a crazy long day. I met a lot of them back at the hotel, like at like 12 o'clock. So some of us were talking. But it was a crazy long day. Good thing I didn't have to film yesterday. I was just hanging around the set. There was some VIP, like KOL sections. I was talking to them, but I don't film until tomorrow. So today I'm kind of like just chilling. And tomorrow is when I get dressed up in my fancy suit and film. GT's asking, is the setup similar to Unbox Therapy? I don't know. It's a studio here. I think it's the same one they used in Batman. I don't know, or it's just something similar. But it's a big, it's a decently big room, and there's a room next to it. It's a nice setup, and there's like 50 crew members. It's wild in these production studios. Why says, why haven't Noah been streaming Saturday nights? He has been spotting his TAs missing his videos. That's a good question. I think we have to find out. Bento, any risky coins for DCA possible 20 to 50x 2025? Um, yeah, I don't know about that. A lot are going to do at least 15, 10, 15x. 50x is a little bit out there. 50x is really out there. So I would say anything in the top 100, honestly, has a good chance of doing just a good 10x. Almost everything can do a good 10x. Because if you look at how far they are from their previous market cap, they need to do that just to get back to their previous high. So here, I'll show you. I'll add in from all time high. if you go down this list, like Polygon has to do 80, Uniswap has to do 80% to get back to their previous high, right? So a lot of these, like the graph is down 91%, VeChain's down 91%. Those are almost 10x's just to get back to previous high, right? Theta Network 90%. So Algorand 96%. 96% off from the previous high. So that kind of shows you like so many in the top 100 has to do almost a 10x just to get back to the previous high. So can they hit that and break through and double? Maybe. There's a good chance. It really depends on how much money flows in, right, in 2025. But I do think this year, the end of this year and next year will be absolutely fantastic. I think the market will explode. The money will be flowing in, so there's a really good chance. Have you heard of Solar Coin? No, never heard of it. Nas, how long do you think this bull market run until the end of 2025? I think so. I mean, it could be a little bit earlier, maybe like Q3 of 2025, because we are a little bit uh things are moving a little bit quicker in the cycle, so that could be a possibility. But I do think it's still way into 2025. A lot of people think it's going to be end of 2024. I just don't see that. Gus, you're welcome. Um, Christian says, sorry, Jordan, I need to dump it. Shorts are printing. Shorts are printing until they all get wrecked. I mean, I don't have the data in terms of how much volume is on the short side right now, how many contracts on the short side, but it could be absolutely mind boggling because last week it was already mind boggling. This week, because everyone seems to think that's a smart idea to pile on the shorts, just like on the long side. When you have too many people piling on longs, guess what happens? The market dips on purpose, almost, right? To liquidate the longs. It's going the same thing in reverse. You got all these shorts piled on, guess what's going to happen? We get that pump and they're all going to get squeezed and liquidated and we go higher. It happens every single time. So when you see one side being lopsided versus the other, that's when you know there's a good chance of a reversal. It's always like that. Ascended Gray, you're welcome. I feel like if I don't stream, a lot of people get really discouraged and turn really negative. I feel like I need to come on and answer some questions and give you guys some hope. Make you guys realize that you need to stay strong. You can't fall for the FUD. I didn't really eat anything today. I had some M&Ms by my desk, so I just ate those. But I got up not too long ago. Wyatt, I already answered your question. Yeah, this is a weird time for me to be coming on. Normally speaking, this is like lunchtime, right, where I am. But because I'm in West Coast right now, this is still kind of early. Do I surf at all? No, I did not. Is there a shower in my trailer? No, there's just a tiny bathroom. KB is asking, is gold a hedge to inflation in its current price range adjusted for M2? I mean, that's a loaded question, right? Gold, no doubt, has been around much, much, much longer than Bitcoin. And for certain decades, it has really done well. But within the last decade, not really. The last 2 decades, not really. So is it still a hedge against inflation? I would say not a good one. You got to see what has it's quite simple. You go back 10 years. What has appreciated the most in the last 10 years or even last 15 years, right? And if you look at gold, it has gone up, but barely. If you adjust it for like the 2% inflation rate that we've been having for the last how many years, it hasn't done that well. But if you look at something like Bitcoin, it has done millions of percent. So thoughts on my favorite car, LaFerrari? Well, it is a beautiful car, but see, here's the funny thing. I was looking at LaFerrari last, I don't know, a week ago, right? Just look at the performance. That's like 900 something horsepower. It's a hybrid. And you look at like the quarter mile time, it was like 9.8 or something like that, right? Under 10 seconds. Stupidly fast. But if you look at the newer Ferraris now, like the 296 GTB or the SF90, they're faster than a LaFerrari. So that shows you how advanced technology has gotten. I mean, LaFerraris when it came out, it's like $1 million car. Now it's probably worth like 5 million. But you could buy a normal Ferrari now and be faster than a LaFerrari. It's actually kind of crazy if you think about it. Is LimeWire legit crypto that would do well in this bull market or overrated? Well, they're not. They're no longer like a torrent company. I forgot what they went into. They split off into something else. And I don't know what that is. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. I have no idea what this is. Like some kind of AI thing now. Wow, they totally went in a different direction. Now it's like it generates stuff using AI, probably ChatGPT like. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right direction. BLUM farming on ton fair distribution. I have no idea what BLUM is. Rather me in the middle for with a Porsche. I mean, Porsches are nice, but they're not supercar level, but they are very nice. Uh, Sunfire, Pontiac Sunfire, or Ferrero GT. Uh, Ferrero GT, I guess. Senator Degen campaign for Congress. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see. Put this up. Sell pressure on Coinbase is gone now. Well, we'll see. The German government, I just don't know if they're going to continue or what. Again, I don't know why they just don't do an OTC deal. What about Pagani? It's not a car company I follow. It's just too exotic, too rare for me to care about. Um, Opinion on new Bugatti? I mean, it's stupidly fast. It still looks like Bugatti. It doesn't look all that different, but with 1,800 horsepower and being a hybrid, it's going to be stupidly fast. Jay Bella, okay, calm down. I know it's scary at times, but focus on this. Focus long term. Focus on years. When in doubt, zoom out and look at how far we have come within a very short amount of time. So you just have to stand these fun moments, these volatility moments, and once we get through them, you'll feel better. We always do. Joe the Toe says crypto is an emotional game by invisible strings that emphasize their smaller than you think manipulations. It sounds about right. It sounds about right. Um, 10 years ago, Bitcoin was in the hundreds. 10 years from now, millions. I 100% agree with that. I know people don't want to think about 10 years, but 10 years ago wasn't that long. 2014 still seems like it was yesterday. In 2034, will be like right around the corner. And in 2034, Bitcoin will be in the millions. That's how many cycles? 2 cycles, 2.5 cycles, almost three. Red Flame says get loans and buy Bitcoin. That's not what you want to do. Never invest more than what you can afford to lose. And when you get a loan to buy Bitcoin, that means it is more than what you can afford to lose. So don't ever get a loan to buy or invest in anything. The New Runes Protocol, this is from George Jetsoff. The New Runes Protocol also has what? I can send you 50 meme coins with one address thoughts. Has all its cryptos under one Bitcoin address. I don't quite get it. Yeah, I don't quite get what you're saying or how it works, but if you're saying that you could just set multiple protocols with one transaction, I think that's what you're trying to say. And to one address, yeah, that sounds about right. Why are people so afraid unless you jump to 70K? I mean, again, just 2 weeks ago we were at 70K, right? How things change. 2 weeks from now we could be back at 70K. I mean, things move very, very quickly in crypto. I mean, right now we just have two FUD things we need to get past. Germany selling and Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox will start distributing next month. And if that happens and no one is dumping, well, that alleviates one FUD point. right? Maybe Germany stops selling, or maybe they continue to sell. It doesn't matter because the ETFs are now soaking it up once again. Then it becomes irrelevant too, right? So again, we have a lot of periods of FUD. Every single year there seems to be FUD. Last year we got Coinbase being sued by the SEC. We have Binance being sued by the SEC. We had a lot of FUD points last year too, right? Possible Ethereum being sued by the SEC. Like that was 2023. 2022, we had all the FUD moments too, right? All the black swan stuff. So we always go through these periods where there's some kind of new FUD. You just gotta get through it. Bento, I know you're very like ambitious and you're sending all these like super chats about all these things, right? You're just going to have to keep watching and pay attention to what I'm saying. And then I'll be covering a lot of alts that you will probably be interested in. I can't talk about Blumcoin because I don't know anything about it. So that's my final answer to you. Currently, Germany is not allowed to sell significant amounts. Criminal claims that significant amounts was yeah, I don't know, Laser Cat. I don't know where you're getting that information, but it's clear that they have sold hundreds of millions already. All right, guys, I'll let you guys go. Overall, I know it's scary. It can be scary. Like right now, I see a lot of panic, right? When in doubt, zoom out. Know that again, we go through a lot of dark times like this, a lot of volatility periods, a lot of FUD moments, okay? But ignore it. Know that Bitcoin is definitely the one that you want to hold long term. BlackRock knows that. Larry Fink knows that. Mr. 100 knows that. And there are a lot of indications that we will be turning around soon. So stay strong, my friends. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys later. I'll put out another video tonight. All right. Take care, guys. Bye bye.